Hey, you guys. We are here for It's a Super Scary Saturday Sleepover. And today we're going to read from the book Still More Tales for the Midnight Hour by J.B Stamper. And let's go on and get this thing done. Scott, are you ready?
Right.
It's about to get scary. We're going to throw Oreo Jr. back there with his friends so he's not so afraid. And let's get this thing going, honey. Let's see what we got. Today's title is Tailypo.
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 All right.
Okay, let's get it. There is a place in the mountains where few humans live. Oh, this is going to go well. The woods around it are deep and dark. A thick fog often settles along the ridges and in the valleys. The weird creatures are said to prowl the land through the long, lonely nights. It sounds like you shouldn't be there lonely by yourself, but this is what we're doing. There is one old cabin built in a hollow in the furthest part of the deep dark woods. A man named Jake, hey Jake, had lived there for all of his 60 years. He seldom saw other people, and his only friends were his three hunting dogs. They lived under the porch of his log cabin. They gotta live under the porch, sir. Them your friend. That's how you treat your friends. Oof, honey. One winter night in the winter too. This ain't Florida. It ain't warm. I guess that's just as bad because it's hot. But okay, whatever. One winter night towards spring, Jake sat by his fireplace staring at a pot of beans simmering on the fire. It had been a hard winter, and Jake's food supply was almost gone. Sir, you better get out there hunting. You better get out there fishing. You better get out there berry picking. Well, I guess not in the winter.
Probably not.
You should have get a garden, sir. He felt as though his stomach had shrank to the size of one of those hard beans in a pot. Sir, get some Ozempic, and then you won't. They say that like it suppresses your appetite, so maybe you need some Ozempic, and then you won't care. Period. Even his dogs had grown thin and scrawny from hunger. As Jake reached his spoon towards the pot of beans, he felt a cold draft creep around his neck. Uh-oh, girl. It sent a shiver through his body. He wondered where the draft was coming from, for he had sealed up the cabin tight for the winter. But he was too hungry to worry about it. He dipped his spoon into the pot of beans. Before he could eat any, he felt a cold draft blowing across the cabin. Sir, go check and make sure the door ain't open. Maybe one of your dogs came in from the cold because you didn't left them outside. Anyway, this time it felt like icy claws around his neck. Jake turned away from the fire to look around. His eyes widened in terror. Show me terror, Scott. Oh my gosh, y'all show me terror. I'm sorry. I can't see y'all, but just do it anyway. Oh my gosh. And he dropped his spoon with a clatter on the floor. I bet you he ain't dropped them beans though. Sitting across the cabin from him was the weirdest creature he had ever seen. Uh-oh. Its eyes were bright yellow that seemed to burn from some strange heat, like mine's. Its head looked like a wolf's except for the ears that stuck up on in high points above the leering face. Its body, which was about the size of one of Jake's dogs, was covered with a thick reddish brownish fur. Then Jake noticed the strangest thing of all. The creature had a long, thick tail that wrapped all the way around his body. Pretend like this is the tail wrapped all around my body because I'm the Tailypo. For a minute, Jake sat frozen in his chair, and the creature crouched still on the floor. They stared at each other from across the room. Yes, I feel like a Tailypo right now. Then, in a lightning fast move, Jake lunged for his hunting knife on the table. The creature sprang up and jumped for the hole it had crawled into the cabin wall. It had clawed into the cabin wall, sorry. The animal was fast, but so was Jake. It was just jumping through the hole as Jake's knife came down at it. With a clean slice, I scared you. The knife cut off the creature's long, thick tail.
Oh no.
Off went the tail.
Not to be happy about that.
Well, maybe it felt like the tail was weighing it down. There was a horrific screech that cut through the night air. Then the animal ran off into the deep, dark woods. Jake stared at the thick tail laying on the floor, the cabin floor. He said, "Yes, I got a trophy." Period. His stomach rumbled with hunger. It was meat like any other part of an animal, and he hadn't had meat for weeks. Jake, oh, I should say pause.
Pause.
Pause. Those who know. Jake put a big kettle of water into the fire to boil. Then he cooked the long, thick tail and ate it for supper. He don't know what animal this is. He don't know if it had rabies, if it's mutated. He don't know. He just cut off the tail and just was like,
Yeah, you're hungry, you gotta eat.
well, yeah, but I feel like this is going to go left. I mean, it is, this kind of book. So,
Well, he probably doesn't know he's in the book.
well, yeah, that he can't break the fourth wall in a book. It tasted a bit strange, but there was a lot of it. Okay, sir. Jake even fed the scraps that were left to his 3 dogs. Oh, look at you getting the dogs in trouble too. As he watched them eat, he thought of the weird creature again. He decided to keep his dogs with him in the cabin for the night. Yeah, because you scared as hell. Before he went to bed, he plugged up the hole in the cabin wall with a piece of wood and rags. Then he settled down to sleep with his 3 dogs under his bed. Well, at least they in a house, so something went right. Even though he was exhausted, Jake couldn't sleep. His stomach was rumbling from the strange meal. Yeah, sir, you ate some Fear Factor mystery meat. You know how they be like, oh, we got some balls soaked in white sperm, and it just be all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's like, ugh, ugh. We got platypus bladders, and it's like, ugh. Sloth toenails, eat it. And the wind had picked up outside and was whistling outside around the cabin. Then Jake heard a scratching noise outside his door. It was the sound of claws scraping against the wood. And over the whistling of the wind, he heard an eerie voice calling, "Tailypo! Tailypo! Give me back my Tailypo!" Jake bolted upright in the bed. The claws were scratching on the door even louder. And again he heard the weird call of, "Tailypo! Tailypo! Give me back my Tailypo!" Give it back, Scott.
Okay.
Give it back, y'all. The dogs under his bed began to growl, and Jake whistled them out. He rushed to the cabin door, threw it open, and sent the dogs out after the creature. There were terrible screeches and howls as the dog chased the creature into the dark woods. Jake waited and listened. After 10 minutes, 2 of the dogs came back to the cabin. But no matter how hard Jake called, the third dog never returned from the woods. I wonder why. Sure, if he went out there, he would see a crime scene. But let's see here. Jake bolted the door and went back to bed with the 2 dogs lying underneath him. Again, his stomach rumbled from the strange meal. Your Fear Factory mystery meat, sir. And the wind rustled around the cabin. Then Jake heard a scratching noise outside his door. It was the sounds of claws scraping against the wood. The weird voice started up again. "Tailypo! Tailypo! Give me back my Tailypo!" Scott.
Okay.
Jake shrunk back into the bed and covered his head with the blanket. But the weird voice came even louder. "Tailypo! Tailypo! Give me back my Tailypo! You got it. That I know. Give me back my Tailypo." Period. This creature is a rapper. Okay? Period. The 2 dogs under the bed were growling, and Jake whistled them out. Again, he threw open the door, and the dogs went bounding out after the creature. With loud screeching and howling, the dogs chased the animal into the woods. Jake waited and listened. Soon, he saw just one dog running back to the cabin in the moonlight. I wonder what happened to the two dogs. The dog whimpered as Jake let it in the door, then it ran under the bed and hid. Jake bolted the door and crawled into bed, but he didn't even shut his eyes before he heard the scratching claws at the door. It sounded like that. Scary.
Yes.
And the weird voice said, Tailypo, Tailypo, give me back my Tailypo. Jake jumped out of the bed, whistled for his last dog. So are you just going to send the damn dog out there like that? Jake is not, he ain't my homie. He's not my homie. Jake jumped out of bed and whistled for his last dog. It growled from under the bed, but wouldn't come out. Yeah, because he saw what happened to the other two dogs. He like, I ain't stupid. Go out there your damn self. He opened the door and forced the dog out after the creature. So, Jake, you ain't going to go out there with your little hunt knife and do something? You ain't about that life? You ain't about it? Then there was a short howl and then a long screech. Jake waited and listened. After 10 minutes, he opened the door and called for the dog, but nothing came back out of the dark woods around the cabin. Jake slammed the door shut quickly, bolted it, and jumped into his bed. Sir, you ain't got no car? Because I would have been out of there. Me and them three dogs would have busted a U-turn, baby, and got on out of there. But that's just me. Would y'all have stayed? Put it in the comment section. Would y'all have stayed here with that Tailypo, with the Tailypo? Would y'all have eaten a mystery meat is the real question. Scott, would you have eaten a mystery meat?
No telling what you do when you're hungry.
I would have ate snow.
You do that?
With some syrup on there. I used to do that when I was a kid.
A little homemade snow cone.
Yeah, a little homemade maple snow cone. Period.
No wonder you don't like maple syrup.
I did a lot of bad things with maple syrup that now I don't. He shivered hard, but the blankets didn't seem to make him warmer. Yeah, because you about to have that same fate with them dogs, sir. He waited and waited. The wind whistled louder around the cabin. Jake strained his ears to hear the sounds of claws scratching at the door. He waited for the weird voice. He heard nothing but the sound of the wind. Jake waited and listened. Then finally he fell asleep. With a start, Jake woke up. Oh! He heard the sound of claws scratching against the wood, but this time the sound was closer and louder. Jake's eyes flew open and met the burning yellow eyes staring at him from the end of his bed. It's just sitting there like, boom. Like, where my tail at? Where my tail at? It's mystery meat to you, but it's everything to me. The creature sat there, scratching his claws against the bedpost. Tailypo, Tailypo, give me back my Tailypo, it said in a weird voice. I don't have it, Jake stammered. The creature crawled forward on the bed, its eyes only a foot from Jake's. Tailypo, Tailypo, give me back my Tailypo. You have got it, and I know. Give me back my Tailypo. Jake was never seen in the hills again. And the mountain folks say that if you are all alone at night and listen carefully, you can hear a weird voice calling into the wind. Tailypo, Tailypo, now I have my Tailypo. And they all lived happily ever after, because these stories and fairy tales all have kind of the same crash landing ending. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, that right there. Okay, guys. Well, that ends that story. What did you guys learn? Put it in the comment section. Scott, what did you learn from Tailypo?
I guess I got the reverse course law and said, don't eat the tails of weird creatures.
Period. Don't do it. Yeah. Mine is don't send your pets out into conditions that you yourself don't want to be out in. Because he did them dogs dirty. He ain't even had no regard for them dogs from the beginning to the end of that story. He left them under the porch. It was winter. He cut off some weird creature's tail, fed it to him, just put them in a dusty situation, and then wanted them to defend him. He should have been out there fighting with him. Okay, that's what I got. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put your animals in a situation you wouldn't want yourself in. Period. Okay. Period. Did you have anything else, Scott?
No, that was it.
Okay, period. You know what? I also got a second lesson. Don't be eating no mystery meat. Don't do it. I learned that from Married with Children. Remember they fed that mystery meat to the band, and then the band went all psychedelic. So yeah, so don't eat mystery meat, and don't treat your pets like you in a way that you wouldn't want to be treated. Those are my 2 lessons for today. You got 2 for 1 today. Period. So with that, we're going to end this. As always, we appreciate you guys coming here with us. We hope you enjoyed the tale and hope you come back later. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out some other lives if you would like. And with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. Oh, one other thing. Of course, I'm trying to get y'all, all the mystery solved in this book. So I'll be right back with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in a little bit. So anyway, with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are to wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. And we'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.